Lord. I'm waiting for bibliotech to open. Oh, sería stuff. Looks like there's a dead body near those benches. And I don't have a phone to call 911. I don't know, it's just someone that is resting on the sidewalk or truly a dead body. There's a security person that will show up soon when bibliotech opens, so we'll handle that. Anyways, I've been posting on Facebook today porque those people that I grew up around, they want to see the chisme. They want to see this, how dirty my apartment gets when I don't have money for food. That's why they steal from me. They're metiches. They're so gross. So I make it public because if it's a reality, it's a reality. Plus, I don't talk to our friends. I don't even have family of origin. I only have a few people in my life that have remained like the people to get me out of a hospital if I'm ever in a wheelchair or ever confined to being in my parents' home due to an illness so that I don't get raped. Porque mostly everyone in my family of origin is a rapist, murderer, and thief. So I don't even talk to those people. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of receiving money they were planning. Based on what he said to me decades ago, over 20 years ago, he was planning on slut shaming me. So basically, he went to bed angry on that. And the night I got him angry, and he was declared. He's declared. He's disgusting. I was a child back then, like 2 and 3 years old. Ah! And I truly enjoy my time with Gloria and San Ramon. That's why they killed Gloria and Ilsa. They're so disgusting. Ew, ew, ew. So they're trying to, even at this stage, I'm an adult. They pretend that I'm a toddler. And they're trying to kill Gloria and Ilsa Ramon, trying to get me to give them attention. Like, if you hadn't liked your parents so much, you would have been visiting me that night. And my parents no more inviting me over. No, I wouldn't. I'm like, whenever I see him, it's gonna be amazing. No, not with this. This is a caca. It's not a multimillionaire. It's not a multimillionaire. It's multi-caca. Oh, a person of old age already. 50 years old. Dan un asco. You see that? Like Jennifer Bonilla that are rapists, murderers, thieves. Live for one saying, ay, mira, nena, hoy no limpié el apartamento. Aquí las fotos. Y ella vendérsela a su prima y decir, mira que por Carling. Y ella coge y se las vende a otro y dice, mira que por Carling. And they're like, I'm just gonna send this to the cops. And they'll never know that I even offered to buy them. To have evidence of why they steal from her. Some people have immunity to do that, sadly. They're like, I'll buy the pictures, confess to the police. I'm like, I want to know what they're up to. So alleviating that from family members that may be concerned. They're like, okay, but what are the conditions of her apartment? I've heard that before. I'm just gonna post it live on social media as it's happening. I need money ASAP. You can decapitate Jennifer Bonilla. Was so close to killing her. I just couldn't remember why. I don't dwell over on why is she on my Maserati? Why is she in my home without my permission? Una cuero asquerosa. Y ya se le sobran a la gente. Dan son una basura, le roban el dinero a una. They think that they're hot as fuck. If they take down other people, no sirven. Eso no tiene relaciones con la puerca. Her kids Matthew and Tatiana rape babies. Y es un animal esa tipa. Eso no es una persona, una bruta, asquerosa. Fo. Anyways, esto sigue. Who's gifting me money today? I ate at Guadalupe Shrine Church earlier, and I got myself a sack lunch. Catholic Charities. And I purposely avoided that lady giving me un regaño through Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's son. And if I were working at a place for 30 years with retirement, I wouldn't have to be begging for money online. They have people everywhere. They've raped thousands of people trying to get people que me dé consejo o regaño when I don't allow that in my life. My parents know that I'm top shelf quality that reaches down to the fruit drawer in the fridge. What else? What else? What else? Y este puerco, como su papá le tiene que estar diciendo todos los días, pórtate bien, carajo. And he's my second cousin, una basura, una asquerosidad. Steals from me que para que la gente me regañe. Es una basura, es ignorante as fuck. Un puerco, lo peor que hay en este planeta. Yo quiero que se muera hoy, especially if that means that people will start gifting me money. If he has guns to people's heads, he's disgusting. He went to bed angry at me decades ago because he thinks that he married me, and because he didn't have sex with me that night, he's been trying to kill me and uses my money, my property for illegal prostitutes and drugs. Ay. What else? What else? What else? What else? I thought that was an accident, but it wasn't. I just heard all of them. Yeah, son una basura. Are they in jail? Is one of them at least dead? Ew, ew, ew. Son disgusting. Amount of people, asquerosidades, that they trafficked into my life, thinking that I'm gonna be like, well, yo voy a ver si Italia es de esposo que tiene a paycheck, yo soy rico. Yo no soy Ginny Tendalira y fueron. Esa tipa es una puerca asquerosa, es una basura, eso no sabe ser mujer. You can decapitate Talia Craig. I've been staying in Miscanoni. I'm gonna visit the beach next. What else? What else? What else? What else? These people are disgusting. Ew. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at 20 minutes. Yeah. People take names outside. Yeah. He wasn't even doing shit. He was just walking around with Rihanna. They tried to take first dibs of my vagina. Separately and collectively, they don't even like each other. They're after people's nudes. And vagina pictures and raping and stealing. They're deplorable. They still stay together behind the scenes. They're They're still together talking. That was a joke that I made. Yeah. What are you? Call yourselves inseparables. Why? They're like a man. You were supposed to be friends. Yeah. My parents sent me to school to kill them in self-defense when my son was down. That's why we did. Oh, where is she? Like, I want to be playing checkers literally at the yeah, Chucky does a lot. I'm reading that serious, but my dad taught me how to read. And my mother had like one red line writing that she was like so into. One of those really old ones. So I spent my whole time at the library with them annoyed. They want me to commit suicide because they know that I could kill them in self-defense. So I'm seeking the death penalty for them because once they turn 18, 21, they are still death penalty. So girls, they're illegal hookers. They stay in my homes without my permission, steal my vehicles, get in the way of your saving money. They're disgusting. They're after raping my kids. They're after raping me. They're after raping Edgar. They're disgusting. They're like, we want to know when they're not together. If they are together, we must separate them and be like, Edgar, mi querida, de repente está contigo. Ew, they're gross. They're disgusting. They're on Facebook. Ew. Eso se le dijo decades ago. Don't embarrass yourself. Pick a town and start baking or something. Decades ago. And they're like, what if the other one starts baking too? There can't be two bakers. And then they start fighting about Liam Bakers too when they bring up the word baker. What else? Anyways, hey, Guillermo Carrero, thank you for providing for me. Well, I'm a victim of theft and a provider. Everything that I want, plus Ian, I have money to date. But he's in charge of it, so I couldn't flee. Look, I made a commitment to him that I love, Jada and Kaylani, to have babies. So he kept me right on track with that. So whenever he and I had a trip, I would say, let's book tickets to this place. We can leave on this day and return on this one. It's like, usually a person with amnesia says, let's take my private plane. No, I forgot, like, after the first conversation. What did I? Or I didn't want to bring it up. So I'm like, he said, Arlene, Edgar said decades ago, you're so abused that when we fly out, I rather we fly out, not trying to take you hostage. I'd rather we fly out coach or first class so that you give me a return late. Because if you take your private plane, you're possibly gonna be like, you go ahead and hold me back in 6 months. Yeah. And then we'll miss the window to have a baby together, you and I. That was decades ago. What else? What else had I not been a victim of theft, domestic violence, abuse, genocide, sexual assault, rape? I would have been flying my private plane everywhere with Edgar, Jade, and Kimoni. What else? 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 You can decapitate and Jamin Suarez and Sons. I'm not married to them. That raped me to steal my money, like I didn't know I married steal money. Él se casó conmigo. And then I showed feelings for him, and he's trying to kill me mad that I didn't give him sex at honeymoon that day. Did he rape his mom and said, you're gonna have to suck my dick today because Arlene isn't here? I imagine them to be nightmares. What else? Bibliothèque opens in 13 minutes. Anyways, I need the money. The bus driver already said like 2 days in a row. Then I asked for a free ride on a Via bus. What am I supposed to say? They're trying to kill me. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. They call this when seeking help for oneself hostigamiento. They are gaslighters. They're gross. So that's messages. saying está hostigando a la gente pidiendo ayuda. Es que when one says that I'm money for a bus stop, they're like, oh, who's stealing from you? Who's abusing you? Usually, it raises concerns of like who is the aggressor and is he close by. So that's why sometimes they're like, no, 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 I can't give you a free ride. But I don't know if your aggressor already got in the bus. Oh, that too. Sometimes it's for a safety concern. They're like, the next person may give her an extra bus ride or she get off. Like, what if he already or she already got in? Or they already got in? Who's gifting me money? So when they say no, it's just to their comfort level. So that's why I stay and I keep asking the next one. But today I want to notice that 2 days ago. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Decades ago, he's not Miami's. Ew, así el lording people. He doesn't understand friendship either. Fool. Ew, ew, ew. Se la pasa llamando a mí. My dad laughed. It says Arlene didn't run out of money during Obama's administration y ellos fueron y violaron a Michelle y violaron a Obama, haciéndose bien amigos de Obama, looking for a pre-pardon. That makes them death penalty worthy for raping the Obamas, not getting a pre-pardon. They're stupid. They're stupid. They're trying to anticipate when they're getting the death penalty instead of rehabilitating themselves. So they put caca over more caca. This is multi caca, no multimillionaire. Todo se lo roba. Ew. So I have to seek the death penalty for them for if they went on to rape. Who was that? Who is it right now? Melania Trump, Donald Trump, Biden. The Kennedys, all 1,500 of them. The Obamas trying to get a pardon before being sent to jail for abusing me. They're deplorable. They're so gross. Ew. Everything that they saw in a telenovela, they try to do because they don't care about going to jail. Is that thunder? No, it doesn't seem like it. What else? Who's gifting me money today? Anyway, so now he's like now Francisca del Agua de la Salchicha, que no es Carmela, Navy Asphalt, Carpet Cleaner, Fake Food. Whoa, Taylor Lynn, after seeing this! Wow. On my laptop, like the screaming darkish. What? What else? So that post hasn't posted. I think I'm still posting from last night on Facebook right now when I turn on my phone. Cuando Francisco Dale, Joana, tú eres la que va a pagar comida. Yo estoy celebrando aquí por ti. Ya yo tengo una cita. Luego de que yo se lo mame, porque este se lo voy a mamar aunque no quiera. Yo le voy a decir, te voy a presentar a par de amigas y no se va a poder. Entonces, ¿quién más después de ti? ¿Tú sola? ¿Quieres invitar a alguien? Anyway, si vas a invitar a más amigas, pues hoy tienes que llevarme a Grand Marnier. La semana que viene me tienen que llevar a las Filipinas. Entonces quiero un carro nuevo by next week. Y si te texteo, hoy estás ready, que estoy con él, una casa. ¿Ok? Ok. Alex. No se creía que yo le busqué a Francisco de la Agua de la María de Valera al destruir al Lee por nada. Si a mí me van a dar el death penalty, yo me voy a ir ahora with the most properties extorted. Da un asco. You can decapitate Joanna Vargas that steals from me, gets in the way of me receiving money, trying to be the prettiest. Es un asco, una basura. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money. At least 2 or 3 of them, the oldest ones, think that they married me one night when I showed feelings for them. And they're angry because on the wedding night that day, when I was 2 or 3, I was in there. So they want to kill me. They're like, she failed me on my wedding night. She mouths. And she cheated with her mother and her dad, so that's why he went on to kill Gloria Mirza. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? 103 Sarsa Roger Frank Medlin Transit Center. What else? Entonces I heard this decades ago que ellos entonces, because they don't know how to process feelings, they're deplorable. Unless your parents' home is like 50,000 square feet, then they're like, wow, I never tell you. That he's gonna even try for me to lose a limb for him to find an excuse that he doesn't like me. What else? What else? Because that's what he saw in una telenovela. Telenovelas aren't dangerous. Is he being stupid? What else? 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 I'm bored. I took that picture earlier. They think that Jennifer's now la influencer. Mi madre J.D. Keilani, porque yo no tengo un teléfono pago. Annie Jennifer. They're deplorable. They're like, dale chica, leímos. That's why they steal from one. This is my second cousin. He's disgusting. I'm going to kill him if I see him. He steals from me trying to gauge, like, what is my need. And he's like, ahora no tienes teléfono. Embarrassing. ¿Quién se apunta a ser madre de J.D. Keilani? No puede estar pasando niños a otra persona, como que their parents. I have no relationship with these asquerosidades. They're rapists, murderers, and thieves that I'm seeking the death penalty for. That stalk me. They're so gross. They're stupid. Y él se cree que behind the scenes in retaliation for me seeking the death penalty for him, he's gonna stress me out and say, well, Alex is gonna adopt J.D. Keilani for you y se los va a llevar a París y los va a vender en prostitución ilegal. Eso te pasa por no. Dan un asco. I feel so bad for Edgar that possibly gets pestered by this. Edgar, págame la cerveza. Edgar, págame la cerveza. Pero Edgar, llévame a comer. Edgar, págame la cerveza. Edgar, te damos al link sin dinero, pero mira, aquí estoy yo estoy disponible. Edgar, dale. Dan un asco, ¿verdad? ¿Llevan cuántos? 5 años. Dale, Edgar, dale, déjame coger a J.D. Keilani en adopción para que alguien se mate. Dale, Edgar. ¿A dónde llevaste a mí a comer la última vez que comieron juntos? Pues ahí es donde me vas a llevar para que se te olvide que él ni existe. Y me van a take over a hacerle. Dale, dale, dale. Un pase más de perico, un pase más de perico. Yo sé que tú no haces droga, pero yo te quiero poner en perico. They get angry. They get angry. They're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. Everyone that steals my vehicles, you can decapitate. Everyone that gets in the way of me receiving money, you can decapitate. Everyone that steals my money, you can decapitate. These people are deprived. Illegal prostitutes on Facebook. Full. Anyways, I'm walking over to Bibliotech because it's about to open like in a minute. What else? I'm bored. I am bored. Or was it open already? I didn't try to open the doors. What else? Anyways, they want to see into my life. A ver, a qué a ella le gusta de mí. Para tailor a package for them daycare, yo puedo visitar bibliotecas si quieres. Y me desnudo para ti. Dan un asco. Dan un asco. What else? I'm bored. I am bored. Okay. Thank you. Hi, is the study room available? It's going to be booked until. What else? I don't have electricity. My apartment's off. Nothing to. Let's just see the fellow to release cucaracha que no sé. No se mueve. What else? I hate rapist murderers on these. They're disgusting. Whoa.
Yes. Oh.
Waiting to receive money online instead of on my PayPal account. Or on my bank account. What else? People that I would have done anything on me and talk never again. This is the illegal prostitution.
Wait, Rani.
What else? I'm gonna try to gauge my vagina hardness through the screen. That's not hard right. And then you go first. And tell me how to move. You're trying to Arlene's vagina. Okay, they're on vacation. They're gross. There's a plural. There's so embarrassing. And some of these are relatives of my parents. I'm not gonna also. There was so gross. Speaking of my electricity, so basically he's gone on because he's living with his parents and I was living with my parents. To it with my money, with our money is for he and I to travel together. Él la lleva, lo lleva all over the planet. Encabronado conmigo. Married people don't ever get angry at each other, so he's not married to me. And I don't need to like ponerme en cuatro y hacerle un pastel para que él me perdone por no hacer nada con él esa noche. He's a big, una ferocidad y esta gente se aprovechando. Unos they're deplorable. Hell, they're the worst. What else? What else is it? Money tonight. Anyway, so I'm suing him for trafficking all of these lacras into my life. This is just a few. Okay, he steals my money so that one gets amnesia and one says, "Oh, I know these people from attending school from attending a family party, from them being in school or relative of my parents." But they're not people that I want a relationship with ever. They're deplorable. They're murderers and thieves and rapists and drugs. I'm talking that we are in this place. What else? Anyways, I didn't plan this. It's all Central Market with a little bit of a thank you bar that was gifted to me at HEB, and then Cirque du Soleil, and plenty of water too, and outfits of my own designs that he steals. I don't even want to see what he did with Blue Sky Designs. Go. He stalks me and then he pays them to be interior designer. Okay, he's angry. He does not forget that I failed that wedding night when I was 2 and 3 years old, living with my parents. So he's raped me after that, and then he takes all of these people say, "So good to see you, Arlene. Last night you have sex with me." I'm so angry at her. We're married, and she was deplorable to me. You're available in your room to entertain me tonight? Great. So they're like, "I'll cook for you. I'll have you for to cook with me. Ole, let's do this. Let's do that together. Llévame a bailar. Oh, you're angry, Arlene." Este tipo más pendejo. They're disgusting. Yeah, oh, and then he thinks that I need to do like something extra special. So how about the death penalty? Okay, I'm tagging the Department of Justice, the International Criminal Court. I'm seeking the death penalty for Benjamin Suarez and his sons that raped me, that steal my money, that get in the way of your ceremony. I didn't do anything to get him angry. He doesn't understand what marriage is. He's disgusting. He thinks that because my parents were married Catholic, that I was like in the Catholic marriage with him day one, and I didn't provide my vagina for him. Well, he was with his parents. Estúpido, bruto, asqueroso. I don't ever want that near me. It's disgusting. What else? They killed my mother trying to get a conversation with me. Who was it? What else? What else? ¿Qué? Porque remember, he's mad at me for not having sex on our wedding night when I was 2 years old and 3 years old. So he's been going on every trick that they learn, and this is just a small sample of those illegal prostitutes. They're like, "What else have you done with your life?" Well, Arlene ignores me and I try to kill her. Oh, your life is so refreshing. I'm scorned husband all the time. Oh, never mind. I visited Jabuco in Italy and I got myself a girlfriend now. I'm happy. Dan un asco. And they're like, "But what about Arlene? We're the best friends. Best friends son multicaca también. Dan un asco. No probé nada. Dan un asco. Ew, I'm bored.
A little way in the back.
I am bored. I am financial this day up to turn on and make people ideally come on the snacks.
Did you get
Gente, this is a small sample of la gente afrenta asquerosa que me robó mi vehículo, mi dinero, que si no debe recibir being the supportive friend. So like Javier Suarez almost a sense that he and I's marriage failed when I was 2 and 3 years old because I went on to live with my parents and he stayed living with his parents. And they're all like, I'll be here for you. I'll be here for you. They're deplorable. These people are so low level intelligence. They have my love. Yes, I look so good. I was dating Miss Money. I was dating Miss Money. That was the same thing. They're deplorable. Ew, disgusting. They're so dumb. I was dating Miss Money. Miss Money. What? They're all like, we'll be here for you. ¿Qué más tiene que le compraron a ella? Y no me lo va a usar, enséñamelo, que es lo nuevo. Dan un asco, son una basura. They're disgusting. So girls, I'm seeking the death penalty for all these people that kill and something someday for the last. We're so close to. What else? What else? I never think about them, so there's no plan of me killing them ever. They're disgusting. And every time I visit the beach with Jane and Kinani, I didn't cry in 2020. In 2021, cuando le dieron, dale Ginny, ponte una foto ahí en traje de baño para que Luis te ponga celosa, mami. I'm in San Antonio, Texas, seeking the death penalty for these asquerosidades, so I didn't get to the beach here. Now, had I been in Miami with a beach like right next to almost my home, and I had not gotten to the beach, that's fine. But I hiked that year. I took myself to a nightclub. What else did I do? I ate a Taco Palenque, I ate an In-N-Out burger. I visited the outlets in San Marcos. What else? And I tan by the pool. I don't even get in the pool for the most part. Porque my parents are very much that I do that with Jenny and Lonnie. That unless there's no one in the pool for hours, I don't bring my kids to a pool for the most part. What else? Even though there's chlorine in the water. Who's gifted me money today? What else? So I knew they were behind that. They're very distasteful, very gross. They're deplorable. They're disgusting. What else? And more. I was in Tampa that year. I think that was a Siesta Key. I love the stand there. Who's gifting me money today? Money sunglasses. And what is it? License. What else? Who's gifting me money today? Those are pretty. Sunglass Hut. I want to visit one of those pink ones. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Pasties, good morning. Those are things. These are pretty. What else? I miss my colored sunglasses. There's some Wonka ones, I think, or blue or tealish. Did I get them in two colors? Can't remember. What else? What else? What else? What else? That's a pretty one from Victoria's Secret. Gold of them. What else? I like this one. Just the thing I need to go. Oh, my bank account. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? She can love it tomorrow on this one. How could they all these people stay in my homes without my permission, stay on my vehicles, yeah, I know I wear same money and steal my money. They're deplorable trying to rape me. They thought they would take me to this mom, they would get there. That's why you see one sees her and says, hi, nice to see you all, but I'm not inviting you to the next party. I didn't invite Evelyn Jesus to dance at Garden because I'm like, there's already that Jamie girl, Carolina, Lauren Garza, Sarah Francis doesn't want to show up. She nearly burned her legs. Wow. What was that? South Island, I think, with Adrian. They went boating and she got tan on her legs too, where it was like really red pussy. I thought it was true. Estaba llorando. Que le dolían las piernas. What else? What else? What else? So David Ledesma was inside of the club the whole time I was there. I was mocking him. I look at Berenice with behind him like, did they see that in cameras and they want to be like, that's how you disrespect your husband. My husband's a rapist. So I got a table because I thought I wanted to do their VIP. I said, why not? And they're all drunks anyway, so I'm like, I'll buy you alcohol but not food because I know you're starving me on purpose. What else? What else? What else? Just, I'm gonna treat you like you treat yourselves. I'm just gonna dance here and drink water. So David Ledesma was there the whole time, inside instead of outside, like the bouncer, like the door guy. So while he was stalking me, literally, I looked up at his hand. And I kept dancing. Do they confirm behind the scenes? And they're like, oh, I thought he was able to take us all to bed that night. What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. I am bored. I was saying money. All these people are disgusting. Richie have raped me in terms of Christmas. I don't want it in my life. Carolina una puerca, stays in my home without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me saving money. Yeah, toda esta gente dan un asco. They're trying to rape me. They're the floor. Es una basura. Inseparable y una. Then they confer today. They're like, so should we stay together anyway? They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They think that they're like fresh new. They don't understand that compatibility exists, and sometimes you may look out at someone that when you look at their face when they find out how disgusting they are. Ew, 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 ew. They're disgusting. Anyways, I want some soup. What's the hardware on it though? It's pretty. I think I'd try it. But I've had to have like a few more in black. Then I want to try the hardware. What else? What else? What else? This is really pretty. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate the heaviest medicines. The sun's as containing money to be separated from me. They're deplorable. They're served. They're embarrassing. Ew. Those are disturbing. Those are terrible. Pensé que porque en la novela alguien se fue al show de mediodía, they did a skit donde alguien se fue enojado a la cama con la esposa y después la esposa tuvo que hacerle tremendo act of God literally to get him back as a husband. That's what's happening here. He is deplorable. Ya es un fucking día asqueroso. He missed my 9.32 birthday. So I don't want him in my life ever. He's disgusting. What else? What else? What else? What else? Not in the argument because you don't argue and you don't do anything wrong. He would have killed you at any opportunity. He would have murdered your babies at any opportunity. He would have caused them to use so many miscarriages at any opportunity with how gross he is. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Who's gifting me money today? I'm gonna shop today. What are the offers at Sunglass Hut right now? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Who's gifting me money today? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, my birthday's coming up. Oh, I need to look on Facebook.
I tried it twice and you wouldn't go through, so I did that and I only brought it back.
Oh, yes, thank you.
I did that Thursday.
So now the rest of my towards these people that's good for me. Shut up. Okay. I can post sometimes even without a phone service and I'm not bored. What else? What else? What else? What else? Someone in my apartment is dirty because I have no food and no energy to clean. I'm just mocking them and laughing at them. They think that they're getting in the way of my day with water search, care plan, purified water. They think that I have a whole list of like, wow, God. That's on Instagram. Kenny Wilson, didn't he donate money to Bibliotech? Who is here to Franken City? I did not seem to be everywhere, and that's how I be there. Rosy Castro must be. If her name's up there. La familia Cortez, all of them in one night. Who else? Is these McAllister so lucky you get me? The USA Foundation, so the people that work with USAA from the foundation, usually it's separate from USAA. Hey, so that right? Union Pacific, OMG. Oh, my Like, I seriously have a list of like so many people that I want to have sex with. They're disgusting. They think that I go through Instagram and say that was a hottie. That rarely happens for me. Even the guy with the dog, I thought I would cry. But I just love seeing his pictures. He had a really nice body. And then I forgot who he is. But if I Google that Instagram account guy with the dog, I'm sure I can find him. Because sometimes they get mentions. Color, but I wanted in pink for King Ani, maybe. That berry blush. That's pretty. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I wanted in black. And in pink for. What else? Who's gifting me money today? They want to try to force me to become friends con toda la basura que se lo estuvo mamando while he's been angry at me for not my wedding night with him when I was 2 and 3 years old. As to give them importance as to having been in his life. He should marry them. For real, he hasn't already. They're embarrassing too. Some of them are so girls, they're married supuestamente for like having met in orgies. They're in like very younger years. And then they go on to be like, well, I don't want to be rejected to her by him if he was like with his actual spouse today. So, hey. And the day that they're not married to them, they're like, hey. Oye, Aline, no te lo voy a mamar ni te voy a llevar una. Pues dale, paga una cerveza con el dinero de Aline, que Aline no bebe alcohol. That one was called. Anyways, I ate at Guadalupe Shrine Church today. What else? And the bus drivers are starting to notice that I've been asking for way too many free rides. What else? So he plans to let me die of starvation? Porque I keep tagging him. What's his excuse that he doesn't check his account? He's deplorable, girls. He is disgusting. You can kill him. I'm not gonna marry him. I'm not gonna have sex with him. I'm never gonna take him out on a date. I don't give a shit if he's mad at me for me not having stayed with him that night when I was 2 years old or 3. He doesn't know how to be patient. Yeah, he can't be violating my rights and then thinking that I'm gonna forgive him. There's no forgiveness when it comes to that. In fact, I stand true to myself that I'm seeking the death penalty for him because he knows that he's inflicting pain onto me. And me not having slept with him, maybe he needs a new blankie and a new teddy bear. What else from his parents and not from me? What else? I'm bored. Anyways, I know that Molusco behind the scenes may be laughing at me. So I'm gonna add him there so that he knows that I know that they laugh at me. Okay, if I haven't received money just yet, they're just laughing at me for the most part, a lot of them. That's what they bank their money at. What else? What else? I'm bored. Take this post. Okay, post. There's so much. What else? I think there's still like posts from last night that will be posting soon. Of course, I got that on my poster. What else? What else? Oh, there it is. I post. Well, I was in my apartment. Anyway, so it shows one person. I need to switch.
That's already locked in.
One for his picture. And the other side, need water.
For you,
What else? Let's get to the menu. What is this? That's really funny. Let's go. How many people I do? He can't go under 2 and 3. And then hire illegal prostitutes, steal my money, steal my homes. He would have killed me already over the disagreement of I wanted white rice and you cooked yellow. Los nervios that I had with the girl. Porque after experience, lovely, very much complimented my cooking all the time in front of dating Kehlani too. That I am a very good cook and a very good chef. And when I fuck up, I just say, I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry. I tried this recipe. And they're like, it tastes good. I'm like, like I feel like it's missed something. And they're like, it's so good, it's good. I'm like, okay. What else? I'm bored. I may shop at HEB later and keep enough bread in my apartment to survive like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday without asking for a free bus ride. And stay at Carver Library because it's close to my apartment, so it's within walking distance. What else? They did all the wrong things. I don't want them in my planet. I don't want them near me ever. I don't know what self-respect is. But like that's how people treat each other. But you know it isn't. My parents don't belittle each other ever while I was growing up. And that's what I got with Ingrid. Very much respect in front of dating Kehlani. There was never a day where he disrespected me in front of Jaden or Kehlani in the same way. I never disrespected Jaden, Kehlani, and Edgar in each other's presence or while alone. What else? I could only be seeking therapy for him if he's still so out of mind killing me. What else? What? Anyways, now he knows why I didn't pursue him. If he's been wondering, hiring illegal prostitutes to pretend to be me. What else? I'm not bored. What else? I'm bored. I'm no longer impaired. Like this, I have been wanting to say for a long time. My second cousins are trying to traffic me into a wheelchair for people to bathe me. That's why these girls stay close. They're like, oh, if she breaks her leg, I'll bathe her. I'm like, no, you won't. What else? They're like, es que está cierta. They dream for that shit. Yo no voy a bailar. ¿Quién no va a bailar? Vamos con I don't want any of these people near me. If we kill them all. So yeah, they tried to traffic me into poverty. Why don't I stay on social security? You're like, for real? Don't you have money to date me? Even if Gloria and Lisa had my portion to date him. He can't use his part of the money to give me an apartment. Worst case scenario, we're gonna be elevating, making the suburbs ish. That's not more than like $1,500 a month. Or we're downtown. We're downtown. The art house would have been worst case scenario. That's under that price point. Let's be social security guy and free through the city apartment on food stamps and begging for money for the rest of our lives. Like not acquiring money, just begging. Like one hostage and then they trial grandparent. They deem people weak based on this grossness. But then they meet people outside of my family of origin and they make it work because they're like, I don't know, she has a second cousin who's gonna kill me. What? So horrible even in 2025. I miss my apartment being not clean. I miss clean morning. So I'm no longer speech impaired. What else is gifting me money? I wonder what I'll do on my birthday. Ew, that one last clear secret. Get your hands. He's disgusting. He's like, well, he steals my money, so I can't date anyone. Tío, te una gente tan asquerosa. Ew. They talk about skills all the time. All the time. Like, déjame eso espera. Déjame poso alguna cosa así. Chequeate el momento de ir a la and they used to gauge like what kind of sex is good. See like this. They're disgusting. Basura, asquerosidad. Ew, ay, de tan puerco asqueroso. Ew, ew. You can think after me. You can think after me. I mean, so it's necessary. It's still my money getting away with it. I'm ready to so. So then not post. I thought it was gonna post. No, you didn't. Oh, can I not? Good question. I'll take myself outside. I'm not. I may do that. Outside the other body is well out of the way. And I may not be a dead body. 21 minutes until it's full. What else? They want to force one to think about them themselves. What else? I was saying I was getting hungry. I guess, yeah. They violated my rights, social distancing. Yeah.
Yes. The one for the yeah, it's done.
Oh, there it is. He volunteered the information that he takes people to my grandma. Yo, doesn't know how commitment works. This is an hour, Joe, to sound like the rest of your life. Ew, those decades ago, what else they know is disgusting. What else? Usually people schedule a time frame of an hours, a whole day, a 3-day trip, a week, based on the conversation. Let's date for the next 3 months. 3 so that I present the League of Prostitutes talents. He's already killed millions of people being dumb. Esa tipa es una porra que no has no talent to him. They're disgusting. Do they use the word cheating for me? He's a nobody. Ew. For real. I'm like, oh, yeah, que está Coro trying to make me feel bad that my health declined y ella nunca ha tenido a hospital visit. Future Sarah friends is gonna be like, I'm always at the heart, guys that throw money at me. No one ever gives you money. But at least it's gonna mark my gray hair because I only have like a little patch of 36. Kayla said to teach her how to be a woman, and then she's gonna try to show me her notes, her videos, her real porn one day. Can't ever attain. What else? Is that he better because I want to talk to my favorite life? Never. Yeah, I'm killing Kayla Barnes. Self-defense. I just have the reminder there. What else? And then they thought that they would rape me, but they will let us know they're so girls. They consider us after you're done having babies like you're for a good time. There's no good time with these people. Are disgusting. What else? They're aggressive as fuck. They're aggressive as fuck. What else? That's so fun. That's so fun. He's 4 years old then. What was millions? 44. What else? Ay, bendito sea Dios. You just understood what a party is. Have you seen the size of the White House? What does he want, like? Or the budget that they have? Like, for real, how much does it even take to decorate those? Don't they want to change the decor? You fit in the yard of the White House. I hate that. They could We bring awareness of like there's people starving and he's spending that much money. So it hits a nerve to some people. And then they're like, oh, I received my like, es de por sí quieren mentir que they look like. Por si uno no quiere mentir right away. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, my food. Let's get outside. There's no one there. I haven't read The Big Beautiful Bill from this new perspective. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I don't even remember my login. I have amnesia from so much abuse that I don't even remember. My dad may have the login. Gloriana said me my login. That's why they killed her. My now they're all sharing that even possibly la abuela de Carolina Chavez, she's a mother. She's like, her login. Hello Kitty fans. Never lie. What else? Hace tiempo que 001247. Porque they're like, they're trying to kill Karina Sever. Oh my god, because I was just like, I should stay behind to my kids that are waiting for their account today. What else? What else? What else?
I thought it was beautiful because I really like both bands. Like they were open people like to stay for the weekend. So like a lot of people that came into the show after the weekend to stay for something.
What else? What else? What else? What else? So what he's trying to coordinate with all these people, porque haven't they been trying for decades now? So they're like, we need a day where they all deny every ride in the bus. She's stranded overnight. Ay, qué baños. Pero si se caga encima. Mira que sería bueno si se caga encima. He's being disgusting. I'm not the first victim of abuse in my family abortion. That's why I don't talk to them. They're deplorable. They're so gross. Ew, do they joke with Jamie and say, I thought she was in shock with you in your home, baby? A todo el lingerie is por Diosero asqueroso. If that's how he talks about me. Ew, es un asco. Es un asco. In the meantime, using the restroom, and then going outside to drink food. So now I search the tank and going to Instagram. Now I'm here. I'm shooting Sarah Olsen in self-defense on that. What else? What else? I'm Lord.
We have to give our cat medicine for UTIs.
What else? I'm Lord. This guy's account keeps popping up. It's so funny. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I am bored. Let's skip to me money today. Oh, it's not my favorite. I'm showing for Alexis RCS. Like today when I wonder how long it would take to get here. What else? What else? What else? I just stayed in San Antonio for a little bit. There's someone's daughters. What else is there? There's the sun for me to tan. There's a Thompson Hotel. I want to tan there. I want to dance at 1902. I haven't visited just yet. I want to take myself to eat to Luna Rosa again. What else? What else? What else? What else? There's Mango La Cantera now. That wasn't here in 2020. What else do I want to do in San Antonio? And there's a lot of people that have moved here from LA, specifically from other parts of the world, knowing that I'm here permanently and that I suggest that you should always move. Live where it makes you happy. What else? What else? What else? What else? So necessarily those people that are in Texas since 2020, 2019 are here just for me. They're just part of my movement of do what makes you happy as long as it's legal. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. These people are so jealous of me. They're so disgusting. They steal my money, so I have Santa Lasma to mock me and be like, pero doesn't Erin Coscarelli look better than without Santa Lasma? So guys, I think I'm taking Erin Coscarelli on a date today. Wish me luck. Es un cuero peroso, es una basura. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm born. It does tit for tat with itself, but I don't know why is it. I seek the death penalty for him. Well, he's like tit for tat.
Pixel thing was
Towards me, trying to kill me.
a 5 or
Mad at me because of the years of 2 and 3 years old. I didn't show up to my honeymoon with him the same night that I literally showed feelings for him. So instead of being patient and a man, he went on to ruin his life, but he had already ruined it possibly. So that is very dangerous. Beware. If you're new to orgies and your family of origins still hasn't gotten it right, you have to make sure that everyone there is worthy of having sex with and mature no matter the age. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Porque my parents sadly took me to orgies where there were like menorito y menorita asquerosa. And I asked, like, what the fuck is this? I don't like it. So I wasn't brought into the orgies, I guess, anymore. Unless they drugged me. After the ages of 2 and 3, my toddler exploration years, catching feelings with people. What else? What else? What else? What else? You can't have orgies with people that literally during the orgy get jealous, plan hate crimes, and or try to promote weddings amongst the people attending the orgies. And I was like, I don't like you, so you're gonna marry him. You two look like way too much in love. You better give me a baby so I can see it. Out of how you two kiss, I better see a baby now. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I'm bored. What else? What else? What else? Anyways. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. to right now, instead of giving them my own money at the army, they're trying to coordinate with the free VIA bus drivers working today and said don't give her a free ride. So that she's stranded and she has to cook literally on herself and be like, guys, I just shit myself because I don't have money. As if hotel rooms don't exist. As if dollars don't exist. They're deplorable. These people are the worst in the planet. They're disgusting. This doesn't mean anything. I mean, from Jaden from Steve, for Steve from King Lonnie. And that's all my Facebook account is. When I'm financially stable, I'll post about my life. Well, occasionally bring it up maybe like once a year, and I'm seeing that I'm to all this. I can reshare the same post once a year. What else? What else? What else? What else? They're disgusting. Let's go. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. What else? I am bored. You can take off with Leon Baker that I didn't want to see him in 2020. Among us, but ellas matan por tener a Leon Baker en su cama. Oh. Leon Baker's a rapist, murderer, thief, a bigot. Y ellas matan todas. Todos. Por tener a Leon Baker en su casa. The Zigger's crazy. That's usually what they do. Pero mi madre mata por Leon Baker en su cama. Asco, pero yo no. Decades ago. What else? I have another 11 months-ish of rent. I feel like I said on a 10 today. He's gifting me money. What else? They were hoping that I would play into that I'm a toddler and I'm dumb. Then the FBI would step in and be like, that abuse. They were hoping that I would play into that I'm a toddler and that I'm dumb for them to not go to jail. They think they're like that toddler that covers their eyes and thinks that no one sees them. They thought that literally people would comment. The Obamas would be like, no. Don't seek the death penalty for a boy, David Ledesma. It's our third wheel in our bedroom. They thought that Melania Trump would be like, this one's the hottest. Don't seek the death penalty for this person. They thought that God, I want to date with this one, not with you, Irving. Ha 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 ha. Isn't that why you were following me on Instagram? Ya lo violaron. Oh, as soon as I had it. I'm like, if they don't know him already, ya lo violaron. Porque I made my Instagram followers public a while ago. I'm not going to go on to find out. He needs to call 911. Killed him in self-defense. What else? And or call the FBI. Or visit the FBI office. What else? They think that I'm going to sing a conversation. Cyrus Peña, who? Did I never think about him trying to rape me? Ew. Donald Musko, they confirmed behind the scenes. How close are we, guys, to raping her? How close are we to raping her, guys? How close? Now that she doesn't have her kids with her, it's not vaginal. They don't understand sexual rules. They're embarrassing. Anyways, I'm getting water to eat my food. What else? Anyways, I've been laughing at these people for years already. years. I didn't even remember Gustavo Cáceres exists. These people are disgusting. These people are so gross. They're worse than gente mal. Ew, 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 ew. They read a statement, they're like, I just ignored it. Ew, ew, ew. Las inseparables que todas juntas no hacen ni una sola mujer. And I got to show you that. Ew, ew. I done that in 2007 when I opened my Facebook account. Ew, ew, ew. Estos tipos son unos puercos, una basura, una felicidad. You can decapitate and have so it says that rape me to steal my money to get in the way of receiving money. They're deplorable. They're trying to find the best out there today. Rape. So they caused my poverty so my apartment looks like this. But I'm like, when I show my apartment that looks like this, I'm gonna show why it looks like this. But I've never had my home look like this. Maybe like one day that I feel sick, I've had a little mess, but I'm never like this. Ew, 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 ew. These people are disgusting. He lies and he says that he's my husband and he extorts money out of you. Kill him in self-defense ASAP. Es una basura, no sirve. Es una asquerosidad. Da un asco. They're disgusting. He's trying to kill me. When toddler exploration didn't even bother me, I don't remember anyone from those days. They may have videos. I don't watch them ever. I don't want to know who was there. And I possibly met my baby daddy during one of those orgies. He wants to say that I was like so touched during those days. Be alarmed. It's toddler exploration for me one day. He can't decide my Catholicism for me. He's disgusting. He's just using an excuse, trying to get my generational wealth. Es un afrentado asqueroso. Full. Ew, un puerco, una basura. I don't want him. What else? Okay, if you do that, you can't get a baby. So it's like you're not on brand when babies come from a man and a woman. What else? What else? So they're like me. You're not the right fit for promoting Catholicism. What else? You can have an orgy of 12 people. If that woman got pregnant, it was just one that got her pregnant. What else? I've heard that sometimes twins happen-ish. I wasn't there. What else? Esta gente quiere celebrar ver semen saliendo de su pene como si fuera la primera persona curiosa.
Yeah.
Dan un asco, they're deplorable, they're so gross. Una basura. What else?
They just make up a 4-digit number.
I'm reading this later. What else? Anyways, it starts with respect and compatibility. What else? That's it. No, look at my dad. He's their Catholic. Was someone questioned it when I was little? Do they want to mock me for that? Asking a question maybe as a little kid. As a toddler, it's like, why is my dad with this person? My mom is. But if one arrives together and one is that little, one says, like, so do I still be with them? So it could create like some questioning of attachment of like, so after this part is over, am I still heading home with them too? And people say that's why they married Catherine. So yeah, after hour I guess who you're going home with because their commitment to you and birthing you and you don't have to guess. Usually if not, the mother lives alone and you always leave with your mother ideally. Unless you're done and your mother have an agreement to leave with your dad instead of your mother. Or another designated person that they find responsible for an attitude and love for the rest of your life until you turn 18. They want to mock me that I may have asked around the age of 1 or 2. So if she is here and he's over there, who do I leave home to tonight? Porque there are conversations donde todos son unos burlones asquerosos. Ew. He kills for ravens. They're disgusting. Don't go Alaska. I don't ever want him. What else? So I'm gonna shop today. H&M. And I hate not having money. It's good to be money today. Keep checking my inboxes. Yeah, my bank account and I haven't received any money. So the people had already warned me he hates me so much that he won't ever ask me out on a date because I was so touched. Well, I talked to like everyone literally. So he literally went on to create the same hate that he has towards me by introducing me the people that he has sex with. Para que no se me ocurra nunca sacar una cita. I don't ever plan to. Anyways, I'm very personal with myself. I wouldn't ever go on to ask someone out it anyways. He's just lazy and a time waster. Just go on to seek the death penalty for him because he's deplorable. Growing up, so that I cry every day, so he steals my money as if my grandmother was gonna cook for me. What else? He hires illegal prostitutes. He got to teach me skills that my grandmother could have not taught me. Gloria Nilsa did that for me. Whatever. They're deplorable. They're so gross. Yeah. They're illegal prostitutes. They're illegal prostitutes. I'm not gonna say these are my mentors. These are my coaches. Because I didn't have a set of grandparents while growing up. They're illegal prostitutes. They're gross. I don't want them in my life ever. They're deplorable. What else? I keep checking my inboxes and I never see money. What else? What else? Lord. What else? What else?
Yes. Can I use the PC?
Yeah, give me just
The computer? Oh, the PC. Please watch the taste.
They want to try to get me to illegally prostitute myself like them or use drugs like them. They're disgusting. They steal my vehicles. They steal my homes. They get in the way of everything. Ahorita tipo una puerca asquerosa, la María Vélez. Threatened me decades ago to get away from her Ken. Es una puerca y él se cree que yo lo voy a sacar a una cita. Dame un asco. Yo creo que se mate. Yo creo que la María Vélez se mate hoy. Porque si yo la veo, yo la voy a matar una puerca. How many rape babies she has and how many rape brown babies she has?
The personal computer is like the desktop analog.
Son basura. They're all girls. They're deplorable. They're so disgusting. They're so disgusting. Why is it that only my siblings sends me money through PayPal? Who does she have guns to their heads to for her to do that? What else? 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 I'm bored. Ew, él me envió un mensaje cuando. Ew, eso es mi marido. Es un puerco asqueroso. Ew, recordándome quién se lo mama. Una tal Jessica Lorenzo. Es basura, es lo peor que tu amiga. Dame un asco. Son una basura. Fu.
So they have fidget toys that are like keyboards. They have those, the square one, the circle one.
Ew. Es un puerco asqueroso. They keep tab como si fuera la corte, dan un asco. Ellos le roban el dinero a una, le roban los vehículos a una, le roban todo, literalmente hasta las panties nuevas me han robado, se las ponen. And then they cause a custody case between a baby daddy and one, and they're like, jajaja, yo soy como la corte que le recuerdo a ella que debe pensión. Haciéndose importante una basura. Es una asquerosidad. Ew. Ew, that this is still in my inbox. Oh, qué asco. Dan un asco.
The study room's free now, so
Okay.
I can book it for you until 3.
Perfect, thank you.